Well, I would definitely start shallow right off the bat. You know, your whopper ploppers and yellow magics and Zara spooks and frogs. You know, some of them go to work. Depending on if you've got vegetation and grass and main lake points and secondary points, these are the things that I would concentrate on. And then once that sun gets up, I'd probably back out a ways. You know, right now we probably have a second wave coming in on beds. I was out the other day and I saw a lot of bucks cruising, but I also saw a lot of beds that were empty. So I know that probably the major wave is already done. I think in fishing yesterday, I started out shallow, but I was throwing a Cinco, and I'm a Cinco freak anyway. And and just in one area, I caught 9 fish. About the biggest one was about 3.5 pounds. But then I backed out to about 28 foot of water, and I put a Cinco on a Carolina rig, and I was pitching up to about 14 foot, working it back with about a 3.5 foot leader. And believe it or not, I caught a 6 and I caught a 5. So, you know, I know that that's what I would do. I'd concentrate on main lake points if the wind will allow you, or secondary points. They're not on the ledges yet of the big creek channels, but if there's brush on those creek channels, yeah, even a Texas rig, will work. But that's, the winning fish have been caught on of course, plastic a lot. We've had, year before last, whopper plopper. And of course, I'm a big, fan of the whopper ploppers. And I think with the temperature cooling down and some of these fish moving around and up, I think you could throw a whopper plopper for 2 or 3 hours, every morning. And you're liable to get a big bite. You just never know. I think we'll see a double digit. There's no doubt about it. That's my personal opinion. Whether or not we hit 11 or 12, we could very easily catch between 10 and 11. 12 or better. So I think if the temperature would cool down, warm up just a tad, because it's going to be a little cool this weekend. I think Sunday is the highest temperature of 74. The rest of the time it's going to be in the upper 60s. So I don't know, the swim bait bite, not quite there yet. Swim jigs, Rayburn's got a lot of grass. So I think if you slow roll a swim jig over the grass, and then we're up about 2 foot. So the grass is a little bit deeper. The fish that I caught yesterday, basically some of them were pretty dark and they were deep in that grass. So I think on day 1 we're going to see 4-pounders, cashing in checks. I think it's going to take a 4 or better. After day 2 and day 3, depending on what the weather does, if they start getting active, generally a lot of times it takes 5. I think we're going to see some smaller fish right off the bat. Friday, we got some rain coming Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't know what the front's going to do. I know there's a front coming in. I don't know how bad the wind's going to be. I just hope that it settles down at least and gives people at least 2 out of 3 days an opportunity to, maybe to catch a big. Yeah, Kicks 105 is our official radio station, and they do the best job there is on updating. And because they break in 3-4 times an hour. Plan your strategy to weigh in the latter part of the hour, unless you're shooting for a 3, 4, and 5, because it's the first person to hit. We'll have holding tanks before you cross over the line, which means that you can hold your fish there. And yeah, there's a little strategy to it and all. But when it comes down to ounces, well, I don't know. I think you can throw the strategy out the window. It's whoever gets a little lucky. But yeah, plan your time to weigh in about the latter part of the hour. Once you weigh in and you're in one of the top 15 seats, you have to stay there until you either get bumped out or the hour's over and unofficially you're one of the winners. And that's when we do the boat checks and then we do random polygraph. The polygraphs and stuff are pretty simple. We ask some certain questions about rules and regulations. And it's, We just don't have issues. We don't want issues. Now, some of the things about it, you know, that cost people money, don't leave your fishing license at home or at the camp. You got to have it with you when you weigh in, along with your tournament ID card.
Boat registration?
Yeah, you know, as long as your numbers on your boat are current, I don't need to see a boat registration card. If not, then if you've got a receipt where you paid it but you haven't gotten your numbers back, yeah, you know, that's life jackets, kill switch, you know, and the kill switch has got to work. So, and you know, Clark, there's so many people that they probably hadn't tested their kill switch in 2 or 3 years. And that little switch in there will get stuck. It's amazing what a little WD-40 will do. Check your machinery. Don't wait till after you catch a fish and then come in, because that wouldn't be good.
Fire extinguisher as well.
Well, you know, that's part of the state law and stuff like this, but we don't actually look for a fire extinguisher. No, we want to make sure that there's no alcoholic beverages or empty containers in the boat during tournament hours. Most importantly, everybody in the boat's got to have a life jacket, and you got to wear it when any time that big engine is in gear running. So those are the basic things that we check for on the boat check deal. Now, you asked me about rules and regulations and all of this. You know, the tournament hours are 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can launch at any time. Off limits from fishing, and I said fishing, starts at 8 o'clock Thursday night to 6 a.m. Friday morning. But you can launch. Make that first cast at 6 a.m. We will open up the first hour to weigh in from 7 to 8. And every hour after that till 1 to 2. The last hour each day is 1 to 2. Paying 15 places every hour, $2,000 for the biggest bass each hour, down to $250. First person to catch a 300, 400, or 500 each day, that's $5,000. Let's say the 3 and the 5 get caught on day 1, and the 4 doesn't. During the awards program, which we will do, whatever ones that weren't claimed, we'll do a random draw between all contestants. We give it away regardless. It's all part of the guarantee. What, the number of people?
Yeah.
These girls here don't ever tell me numbers till Sunday, so I don't know. But let me, you know, I'm sure we're 1,500 plus. You know, Thursday is a big registration day. We go down at the site from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We've cut off online registration. That was cut off at 2 o'clock today. So people that's already registered, online stuff, they can come to the pre-reg Thursday and pick up their packets and all. And then the people that haven't registered, of course, will have cash credit lines and stuff, set up for that. And then, you know, we start registration Friday morning also at 5 a.m., each morning at 5 a.m. One that really hits me was Brandon Adams, the 11-year-old. I think that was about 12 years ago. He was fishing with his granddad and his dad. There's 3 generations in this boat. And Brandon, they were from just outside of Austin. Brandon didn't want to fish little anglers. He was 11 years old. He wanted to fish out of them. So his dad asked me, he says, well, what if he wants to win a boat? I said, well, I'll title the boat in your name. And Brandon happened to be standing there, and he looked at me and he said, Mr. Pop, if I win it, I just want a four-wheeler. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. If you win it, I think I can help you on the four-wheeler. Well, he had a big smile. Believe it or not, he caught a bass that weighed 1157, won the tournament. What was really neat is the fact that when we do the awards deal, we go from 5th place up to 1st. And we had about 10,000 people there, spectators and stuff, watching this deal. When Brandon's turn to come up on stage to get his trophy and what he won, he got a standing ovation. So we're standing in a brand new 21-foot Triton boat. And of course it was powered by Mercury and Lowrance Electronics and Navico, and then you have Navionics rather, and then Minn Kota trolling motor and power pole anyway. So I handed him the keys to his very own boat. Well, his dad was smiling. Of course, I gave him a check for cash and stuff, and Mom was smiling. And then I told him, I said, guess what, Brandon? I got your four-wheeler. Oh, his eyes got that big around. But I told him, I said, let me assure you, this is the largest four-wheeler that any 11-year-old has probably ever thought about owning. And I gave him the keys to an H2 Hummer. his dad passed out. It was pretty exciting. And the thing about it, when he held that trophy up, looked like Kevin Van Dam. I loved it. And when he walked off the stage, he was signing autographs. The girls were lined up. So that was a pretty unique moment. He was the best role model, for tournaments and stuff, especially amateur tournaments, because the following year I saw tons of kids fishing with parents, grandparents, their guardians and stuff. And, it was really, it was unique. He was a good kid. And he's still fishing our event. His granddad passed away, but he and his dad fish, and he's now become a dentist. And he went to college on a fishing scholarship. So it was pretty neat. When I was in high school, I wish we had the opportunity to get scholarships.
And look, I was the high school kid back when I went to high school in Leesville, Louisiana, fishing his tournament back in the day, and look where I'm at now. So it does happen.
Hey, just like our slogan said, where amateurs win like the pros, now you are a pro. And you've done very well. We're proud for you. Some other stuff that's happening in 2 years, we will celebrate our 40th anniversary event. And let me assure you, it's going to be an event to remember. The guarantee will be well over $1 million. So stay tuned, and that's coming up. I'll announce a lot more of it Sunday afternoon during the awards program. And anyway, our whole slogan is where amateurs win like the pros. So if you get a chance, go to Sealy Outdoors. That's SEALY outdoors.com. And Toledo Bend is coming up May 14th, 15th, to 16th. That's our next event after the record. So stay tuned. We got a lot more stuff that's happening. And we wish all the anglers, number one, to be safe, be courteous, and catch a big fish.